right into Free Advice Friday. And the first question, don't be afraid to ask them yourself, but the first question that I got last week, it's very odd. It just said that I joined the meeting. Okay, that's fascinating. So the first question that I got last week is somebody was asking what suggestions I might have as the lead magnet, as a way to attract people to sign up for your newsletter. And I loved this question. I was actually talking about this with one of my students yesterday. He was concerned that his newsletter wasn't attracting enough new followers, and he wanted to know what he could offer people to make them sign up for his newsletter. And my answer to that is this: you're thinking about it wrong. Yes, I will give you ideas. Give me 2 minutes and I will get to the ideas. But the first question I have for you is, what is in your newsletter that appeals to a potential reader, a subscriber whom you do not have yet? What is it about your newsletter that will either entertain or educate or will add to my life? If I don't subscribe to your newsletter and you want me to, it's not enough to offer me a great freebie. Because if you offer me a great freebie, I'll take it. And then I will unsubscribe to your newsletter so fast your head will spin. Or I will have it automatically go to a folder that I never see it. I'll let you in on a little secret. I have some people whom I love in this industry, but their newsletters do not offer me anything. I don't want to unsubscribe because I love them and I don't want to piss them off. But the truth is, their newsletters are dull and boring, and they don't add to my life at all. So they automatically go to a folder where once a month I kind of glance through and then I delete. You don't want your newsletter to do that. So I have lots of ideas for you on how to attract people to your newsletter. But my first question is, what does your newsletter offer to your potential reader? And does your newsletter reach out to and attract the same sort of people who you want to read your book? What is the theme and the focus of your newsletter? So that having been said, some of the giveaways that I find work the best have real value. Please, I don't care about your first chapter or your first 3 chapters. Okay, all right, I got to tell you, if you were Jean Plady, come back from the dead, and could give me 3 chapters, I would absolutely take you. But for the most part, I want something that's going to add to my life. So the freebies that really get to me are, now this is just for me and the way I would do it, but if I was, and I am, an avid fiction reader, I would want a code for a free ebook. I would want to be entered into a contest. I love contests, and there's new rules now online. You can offer a great many contests without violating laws like that were in place even a few years ago. Keep in mind, I am not suggesting you violate any of your state's laws. I need you to check out with your own Secretary of State Department, secretaryofstate.com. Go to their website for your state and make sure that you follow their rules. But there are contests that give away free Kindles or $25 Amazon gift cards or a free signed hardcover from a best-selling author. I own some wonderful first editions that were signed, one by David Sedaris, and a couple of years ago, I donated that signed book to an organization who was trying, it was a nonprofit that I loved and appreciated, and they wanted to grow their mailing list. So we offered that as, and give us, sign up for our mailing list and you'll be entered in a drawing next Friday for a first edition signed David Sedaris book. That was some of the things I did. I hope that those ideas were helpful, but before you start thinking about what Amazon gift certificates to give or Panera or Starbucks, think about your readers. If you've written a how-to book for people in hospice care, perhaps a Starbucks card is not the best choice, but perhaps you could give them a free 16-page PDF checklist of things they need to think about. If you've written a novel that was based in a particular country or a particular time in history, perhaps you could give away free maps to that country. Or, yes, I know everyone uses Google Maps nowadays, but how gorgeous would it be if you got one of those old-fashioned maps and framed it and ran a contest get a couple thousand people to sign up for your newsletter. In exchange, you have to mail out one framed map of England or Scotland. Those are some of my ideas. All right, let's see what kind of questions we've got. Excuse me, guys. I got to put the old lady glasses on. Make sure that I can see everything. Let's see what some of the questions are that are popping up from you guys. Reese is asking if libraries view bookstores as a direct competition. I don't know. I really don't know. That's a great question, and I would love, Reese, I'd love to give you a straight up answer, but here's my promise. I'm going to ask some librarians this week, and next Friday, I will have an answer for you. I don't know. My thinking is no, but I don't know. So we will find out, but keep asking those questions, guys. And if I don't know the answer, I'll get back to you next week. All right, the next question we have, how to develop a large launch team for a book, especially people who will review books on Amazon. Other people call this a street team. My personal experience is, depending on your friends, to write reviews on Amazon and to get the word of mouth going about your book is one of the worst ways to develop a street team. One of the best ways I have found is to develop relationships with other authors. I know we're solitary people. We all like to sit in our offices and write our books, and none of us have any friends. But that's not exactly true. Authors are lovely. The reason why I'm in this industry and not in some other industry is because I like nice people. And you guys, you authors for the most part, are amazingly kind. I would strongly recommend that you guys all hook up together. Do not do it on Facebook. Don't do it online. Amazon notices that stuff. And I'm not talking about trading reviews on Amazon. What I'm talking about is supporting each other. I and my community of nonfiction authors in the book publishing and marketing industry, we support each other for the most part. When Derek Dupker has a new product, I'm out there if I like it, I'm out there talking about it. When Dan Hall has a new book, you guys may notice that my Facebook and Twitter page has Dan Hall's book, on a picture of his book on my header card. I don't get anything for that. I'm not being paid for that. But Dan's a good guy. He and I have a lot of the same sort of authors. I want to promote his new book that just came out, so that's what I did. I would suggest that the easiest and fastest way to get your street team or your launch team started is to connect with other authors. And yes, you can ask friends, and yes, you can ask local people. But a street team and a launch team is a very different group of people than whom you want to reach out to review your book on Amazon. That's different. A street team should be going to their local library and their local bookstore and ordering a copy of your book, asking the librarian specifically for your book now that it's out, in ebook and in print copy. They should be going to bookstores, and they should be special ordering a copy of your book and paying for it. They should be talking about it to their friends on Facebook. They should be sharing the stuff that you're sharing on social media. They should be offline, off social media. They should be, perhaps if they're a member of a particular organization, they should be telling you about that newsletter, telling you about different opportunities. Yes, these are things that friends do, but it's our jobs as authors to give them the idea. So I hope that gives you some ideas. Now, because the next question down is asking about Amazon reviews. Your street team and your friends, you do not want them writing your Amazon reviews. They either will not show up or they'll get pulled down pretty quickly. Amazon reviews are something that should be happening organically and naturally. And the best way to get Amazon reviews is this. BookBub promotions, BOOKBUB. Do a 99-cent BookBub promotion. Apply for them every 30 days until you get accepted. If BookBub will not take you for whatever reason, because BookBub, there's kind of a chicken and an egg thing going on. You need to have some Amazon reviews before they'll take you seriously. There's a lot of other organizations out there, ebooks and free books, and there's a lot of 99-cent sites. And what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to list all of the 99-cent promotional sites, because a lot of them are free or very cheap. BookBub's expensive, but I'm going to list them on the Free Advice Friday page for today's date. Look for the August 3rd date. Today's the August 3rd, yeah? August 3rd date, and I will have that list of places. You want to get Amazon reviews organically and appropriately. Asking your friends to review your book is great, but most of them don't know how to write reviews. They're completely intimidated by the idea. They're exhausted by the idea. And guys, I'm just going to plug in my phone real quick so I don't lose you. It looks like I'm only at 36% power here. So hold on. There we go. And I'm going to ask my charming co-traveler to turn the car on so that I can get power. Perfect. All right, next question. You guys are doing great. You're being very patient as I do this by the side of the road. Let's see. Patricia is saying she has 4 books. The most recent was published last year. Is it too late to begin an Amazon AdWord campaign? No. Oh, gosh, no. Patricia, my book came out in 2015. And I'm doing an Amazon AdWord campaign. I've got to get the 2nd edition going. I really have to get that finished. But you should always be running Amazon AdWord campaigns. Once you find the sweet spot and the right keywords, you should then go back to the well and start trying to find another 1,000 effective keywords. You should never stop Amazon AdWord campaigns. Keep your budgets small. Keep them profitable. But you know, taking these classes that are out there, kindlepreneur.com, I'll be happy to put that link on the Free Advice Friday page. Kindlepreneur.com, there's a, let's see, Andrew Alexey offers a great class on how to do AdWords. ams.amazon.com has actual videos and a YouTube channel showing you how to do it. It is not too late to do Amazon AdWords. I'm doing mine for a book that's 3 years old. And I would heartily recommend that you do the same. All right, let's go back. Reese, good to see you again. Reese, oh, and I'm sorry I couldn't answer your last question, but I can answer this one. Reese wants to know, how do you get enough reviews to be taken seriously by bloggers and professional reviewers? Well, again, chicken and egg, horse and cart thing going on. The way to get enough reviews on Amazon is to write a really good book, advertise the gajebers out of it so that enough people buy it and write reviews. Promote it with low-cost ebook promotions in short bursts, 3 days. Don't make your book 99 cents for 6 months, although that's a different, you could, and that's a whole nother, but to try and get reviews, promote it using these organizations I'm talking about. Drop the price, bring it back up. Drop it again, promote it with somebody else, bring it back up. You will start getting reviews, lots and lots of reviews. If you are lucky enough to be accepted by BookBub, BookBub has their own internal review system that's fantastic. And so getting reader reviews is one thing, but these professional reviewers, the only way you're going to impress a professional reviewer is to have a gorgeous cover, professionally designed, that looks like the covers that are being put out by a professional cover designer. For those of you who think that you can do it yourself and save that money, they can tell. We can all tell. We all know when you did it yourself. We all know when you let the artist who created and designed the artwork for your front cover. We all know when you let that same artist design your book cover, because you know there's just a lot of easy ways to tell. We can tell when you didn't do it right. So get the cover designed right. Get the book edited, development edited, copy edited, has to be beautifully written, has to be proofread. And once you get all that done, if you've got a gorgeous book that was well written and well produced, you will impress the professional reviewers. Bloggers care about talent, and they care about professional, well done publishing. If you are talented and you've published your book professionally, that is all you need to get the attention of most of the people. And then it starts to spiral up from there. You get 2 or 3 dozen bloggers to talk about you and to interview you and to talk about your book. You will then have a much easier time getting magazines and newspapers to do the same. Start at the bottom, work your way up. I hope that answers your question. I hope that was your question. All right. Ooh, lots more questions coming in. Let's see. All right. All right. Ginny is asking, and again, I'm doing this totally free, guys. I don't know what these questions are about to say, so here's hoping I can answer. Ginny says, I have a paperback book published through CreateSpace, and then I use the same ISBN and publish the exact same book through Ingram Spark. What happens on Amazon.com when someone orders the paperback? Great question, Ginny. I'm going to take a slight twist on your words. You did not publish your book through CreateSpace. You published your book. You printed it at CreateSpace. CreateSpace is a print-on-demand company. They are not a publisher. I'm hoping, Ginny, I am praying and hoping that you use your own ISBN. Please go to the Q&A and tell me that you used your own ISBN. I'm going to take a look in a second. Because if you used CreateSpace's ISBN, then I'm afraid that you're not going to be able to take that to yay! Ginny did it right. We're very impressed with Ginny. Woo! All right, so you take your ISBN and you take the same file that you gave to CreateSpace and you take it over to Ingram Spark. If you had chosen expanded distribution, you need to uncheck that and send an email to CreateSpace and tell them that you are no longer interested in expanded distribution and to please remove your book from their Ingram Spark account. Wait 7 to 10 business days and then contact Ingram Spark, and there's a transfer form that you can fill out. Don't worry about writing all this down. I have written step-by-step instructions on how to do this, and I'm going to put that link in the August 3rd Free Advice Friday page. That having been said, once the process is all done, the way it works is this. If my Aunt Martha orders your book on Amazon.com, Amazon knows instantly that your book is available through CreateSpace and Ingram Spark. They're aware of that. Their computer knows that. And they're going to automatically order from CreateSpace. My Aunt Martha's best friend goes to the local bookstore in Shelburne, Vermont, and asks Josie to special order your book. She's going to order it from Ingram. Ingram knows full well that they can get the book from their sister company, Ingram Wholesaler, and that's where they're going to order that book from. If your book has been printed, not published, but printed through CreateSpace for quite a while, there's a chance that Amazon may have 2 or 3 or 6 copies sitting around their warehouse of your book. They may have printed a few when there was a run on them. A couple may have been returned. There's quite often a few in their warehouse. So I'm not saying that when my Aunt Martha and the next 3 people order a book from Amazon that you'll automatically get CreateSpace orders, because they may need to wind through the ones that they've already printed and not sold yet. I hope that answers your question. All right, let's go back to the ones that were emailed in today. Let's see. Oh, you guys are not going to like my answer to this next one. P, we're just going to go with the initial P, says that, and I'm assuming, because I'm sexist, I'm assuming P is a woman, but it could be a man, has 2 children's books published in more than one way in a children's book series. Someone has suggested that awards would help with marketing, but P is not sure where to start. Do I have any suggestions? I'm going to go on record saying something that's going to probably get me in a lot of trouble. Awards do make a difference, some of them, but most of the awards out there that you guys are thinking about, the IPPEs, the Ben Franklins, these sorts of things, these awards, you know, they might impress the average reader. They don't do anything for bookstores or libraries. If you're trying to get librarians, bookstores, Walmart, Costco, someone to stand up and notice you, an IPPE or a USA Book Award or a Hollywood Book Award or any one of these companies that charges a $75 application fee to apply, these are not great choices. If I thought that an award would really make a difference to one of these sorts of awards, the ones where you give them $100 and you get to enter a category, they are for the most part they're honest awards. I mean, you are judged fairly. It's kind of like a Kirkus Discoveries review. You get an honest evaluation. If you get a gold, you know, a gold Ben Franklin, you deserve that. But it's not going to do a lot to move your sales. Now, you get a Caldecott or a Newbery, or if Allure Magazine, which they've got an award system, if you get a People Magazine Top 10 Book of the Year, that's an award that you can take to the bank. I mean, yes, you know, if it says Pulitzer, and you're laughing now or you're annoyed with me because you can't win a Newbery or a Caldecott, well, neither can most authors. I mean, there's a reason those awards make a difference. These other ones are pretty much just a way for you to lighten your wallet. You will lose a lot of money. You know, the gold stamp might look pretty on your cover and it might impress a few readers, but not enough. We're pretty savvy and somewhat suspicious people now. We don't fall for that a lot. That having been said, I am going to say that studies have shown that a huge chunk of the American public is still very, very susceptible to marketing. My personal experience is that most of them are not avid readers. Avid readers are even more suspicious and somewhat reticent to buy a gold stamp without seeing what it is. That is simply my experience. It may not be everyone else's. Now, we went from 19 questions to 33 just while I was talking, so I am pretty sure that people have an opinion. Let me look real quick and see what's happening down here, because you guys have a lot to say about awards. All right. All right, so let's get back to the question. No one's yelling at me about my opinion on awards. That's wonderful. Caroline's asking if I have any suggestions for getting a book in front of Amazon Imprint Publishing, in particular Montlake. She's a narrator who's working with a UK author. Her latest book is due out this fall. Caroline, I do have an email address. I don't know if you know what, I'm not going to try and remember it from the front seat of my car. But if you check back to Free Advice Friday, the August 3rd page, by Monday morning at the latest, I will have the address and the email address of at least how to start that process. There is an email address out there that I have, which is that Amazon freely gives and asks authors if they have a business proposition to make to them to use that email address. It's something like book-editors@amazon.com, but don't hold me to it. But I do have it, not with me in the front seat of my car, but it is there, and I will get it to you. But my main advice is you need to get an agent. Amazon and all of their publishing imprints, they are courting agents like crazy right now. They are actually offering agents to double up their commission. They not only get the 10, 15, or 20% from their client, Amazon's offering to give them a cut of their share as well, to try and drive agents to get their clients to agree to do exclusive deals with Amazon. Agents are the best way to get into Amazon. If you're a client and you are not working with an agent, I'd be happy to mention a few, or to see if I can hook you up. If you're working with a best-selling UK author, I'm assuming she has an agent. If for some reason she doesn't, then this email address will be the next step. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Lev, I gotta put my glasses on, has written a book for a specialized audience. To wit, a book for cancer patients called Cancer Killing Medicinal Mushrooms. How do I market to this specific audience? Well, Lev, you're probably going to be marketing to an open-minded audience that is very willing to embrace Eastern medicine. So this is how I would start. I would start by Googling all the different Qigong and Reiki practitioners in a particular state, and they're very easy to find. I mean, I keep saying this, guys, we're in a golden age. With Google, you know, type in Nevada plus Reiki practitioner, Qigong master, New York. Start finding people who teach classes and start big and go smaller. Who are the big institutes? Are there different, I don't want to say spas, but different healing organizations? That would be where I would start. Quite a few people who are open to and embracing non-traditional medicinal approaches, you will probably find in that same arena. I wouldn't suggest going to Johns Hopkins or camping out in New York City in front of their cancer ward. Start a little broader. And, maybe some small ads and focusing on the different magazines and newsletters in that industry. Kripalu, the Omega Institute. Perhaps you'd like to teach a class. Perhaps you could actually do a session at Kripalu or Omega or any one of the many organizations out west, especially in New Mexico. That would be where I would start. I hope that helps. All right, let's go back to the email list. You guys are doing great. I can't believe a half an hour has already flown by. I need to warn you that my phone is not keeping up with the juice, so I'm going to probably have to shut today's Q&A down a little early, but I swear, I promise, any question I don't get to, I will actually record an answer to, and I will put it up, the Free Advice Friday replay for August 3rd. Anything I don't get to live, I will get to, I promise you. All right, next question. James is saying, if he decides to go the self-publishing route for the second edition of his book, what is the most cost-effective way to do so? His first edition was published with instantpublisher.com. Well, James, self-publishing has become kind of a weird term. Self-publishing doesn't mean what it used to. Self-publishing has been co-opted by a lot of vanity presses. So if you're going to have someone else publish your book, and if you're going to pay them to publish your book, then the least effective way to do that is to hire some big company that offers you a big package. That's probably not your best bet. If you're trying to save money but you want it done really well, I would recommend that you hire a designer, you hire an editor, you hire a cover designer, and you can find these resources any one of a number of different sites. I will post those sites on the August 3rd Free Advice Friday page. But the fastest and easiest way to save the most money is to not put a third party between you and your profit margin. Why would you give some company the distribution rights to your book? Yes, I know you get to keep the copyright. Whoopee. So does every author. That's what a publishing deal is. You're just selling the publication and distribution rights. But if you hire a company and give them $3 or $4 grand to publish your book, it's their ISBN. They're tacking a couple of dollars onto every printing price. I promise you that helps them make a little more money. The best and easiest way is to do it yourself. Now, I'm going to say, James, that you don't mention here how much time you have or how much expertise. If you are not interested in learning everything you need to learn to become a publisher, I totally get that, and I honor that. But then you do need to pay the money, and there is no cost-effective way to do so. It costs money, and to give a third party, they want to make their profit at the end of the day. They have to keep their lights on. It's going to cost you $3 or $4 grand minimum to get it done right. I love Outskirts. I also like Dog Ear. Those are two companies that I would recommend, and I will post their links on the Q&A page for August 3rd for Free Advice Friday. I know that wasn't quite the question you asked, but thought I'd throw that out there. All right. Let's see. Paul, good to see you. One of his books on Amazon is now out of stock. He's got 34 reviews that came with that book and has since repurposed the book by changing the title and the cover. The content is exactly the same. Yes, Paul, we talked about that. Not 100% cool. Or can Amazon transfer the old reviews, or do they have to contact each reviewer and get them to rewrite their review? Paul, Amazon does transfer reviews from first editions to second editions if the title has stayed the same. But if you've changed the title, Amazon absolutely, it's right in their terms. They will not copy over the reviews. They consider it a separate book, as they should. You've changed the title completely. Even though it's the same content, I want to remind you that you need to put on the Amazon page right near the top of the description, formerly published as, and give the name and the ISBN of the other book so that people don't accidentally buy the same book they already own. You have a lot of fans, Paul, a lot of people who adore your book. I don't want to tick any of them off. You are going to need to contact each of those people and ask them to repost their review of your second edition because you've changed the title. It's not me. It's Amazon. Sorry. All right. Laura, you've asked what the anatomy of a review is. I would love to answer that question, but I don't understand the question. What's the anatomy of a review? I don't know. There's no blood. There's no limbic system. Can you rephrase that question? I'd be happy to answer it. What do you think of KDP Rocket by Dave Chesson? Edward, I love KDP Rocket. I subscribed. I learned a lot. Their videos, and they offer a lot of great free content. Now, they were better off when Amazon was offering and offering up email addresses in the reviewers' bios, but KDP Rocket still has a lot to offer. Laura's asking if these are recorded and can we go over it again. Yes, every single Free Advice Friday has its own date. If you go to newshelves.com, www.newshelves.com/FAF, Free Advice Friday, we put all of these up, and I put a transcript up. For those of you who do not want to hear my voice or see this face again, I totally get it. I put a transcript up so you can just read through, or even hit Control F and look for a keyword and find your answer. Transcripts and videos do go up by the following Monday. Now, as I warned you, I'm camping in Canada. I'm going to be out in the middle of the woods this week. I am hoping against hope that my associate Carrie, who is listening in right now, she's going to be able to do this for me. But if I don't get it up before the weekend, I will get it up by Monday at noon. That's my promise to you. All right. Ginny, you're adorable. Thank you. I absolutely love these. Let me answer. I'm going to answer 5 more questions, guys. I'm going to try and get through as many as I can. There's 5 more emails here, and you've got a few there. It is 12:33, and I am going to have to shut off by 12:45 at the latest. But I really appreciate these questions. They're really well thought out. Rebecca asks, she gave me a screenshot of a wonderful review for her book, Pilgrim's Progress, and she can't find any emails from the reviewers to ask them, and that's true. Let me explain why. Last May, the end of May 31st, Amazon went and stripped out all of the email addresses from Amazon reviews. It used to be that Amazon reviewers had a choice. They could post their website, they could post their blog, and they could post their email address in their bio. Amazon went through and scrubbed out all of the emails in an attempt to get people to stop trying to game the review system. Now, I'm not talking about people like you and me who are genuinely trying to reach out to top reviewers and ask them to consider our book. People were using those they were using computer programs to draw the email accounts and put them into databases, and they were using them for nefarious purposes. The reviewers were getting upset. You can still find their websites and their blogs in their bio, so there's an extra step now, Rebecca. Go to their blog, go to their website, look for their email or their contact information there. Sorry about the extra step. Again, it wasn't me. It was Amazon. All right. Megan is asking, what would be the right time of year that I would advise to publish a children's book? Has a rainy day spring theme. All right. If you've got a rainy day spring theme, Megan, now again, I don't know what part of the country you're in, but spring comes, when I lived in Cincinnati, there were daffodils up by mid-February. I now live in upstate New York, and I got to tell you, June 15th, I'm still looking at snow sometimes, it feels like. So to be safe, I would put the book out January of this year, of 2019. Why? For this reason. If you put your book out in November or December of 2018, by April 2019, the reviewers in the bookstore think your book's already a year old. We're busy, we're lazy, they just glance and see 2018 and they're like, oh, year old. But you want a 2019 pub date. If I was your publisher, I'd be putting the book out give it a January 2019 pub date, start sending review copies out as early as October or November, start getting word of mouth going, contact all your local stores and tell them about your book, send them PDFs, show them the cover, tell them how fantastic your book would be, for a springtime book display, come up with some, go to your local hardware store. I mean, because I got to tell you, those hardware stores, they're putting out watering cans and flowers and tons of stuff. Go to your local independent hardware store. See if they'll take a dozen copies. Start that process in November, but don't put the book out till January. The little Megan that I know about your book, that's my advice. If you want to reach out to me and send me an email, any of you guys want to email me at amy@newshelves.com, amy@newshelves.com. Feel free to give me more details, and next Friday I'll hit you guys up again. JP is asking what to suggest for a wholesale discount. JP, both Ingram and Baker & Taylor require a 55% discount before they will be able to give their customers the anywhere from 20 to 40% discount that they have to give. Bookstores require a 40% discount. Wholesalers require a 55% discount. Now, Bookazine and Midwest and America West, Brodart, these wholesalers may not require a 55% discount, but keep in mind that because of the Rodman-Packman Act, which the federal government definitely likes to uphold, if you offer one wholesaler a 55% discount, you are supposed to offer all the wholesalers the same discount. It is not within you do not have the right legally to offer one bookstore a 45% discount and another bookstore a 40% discount. If they're the same sort of company, according to Rodman-Packman, Google it, don't take my word for it. All wholesalers, if they're the same sort of wholesaler, if they're all book wholesalers, then you have to give them the same discount. I get around it myself with a couple of wholesalers because they bill themselves as library wholesalers. So I will tell you this honestly, and I'll put it right on camera. I do not give Brodart the same 55% that I give Baker & Taylor. Why? Because Brodart sells exclusively to libraries. Baker & Taylor doesn't. They sell to pet stores and to bookstores, and so they're a different sort of wholesaler, so I give Brodart a smaller discount. Go ahead, blow me in. I want you to call Brodart and tell them right now, because then I'll get in a lot of trouble. But I'm not in violation of Rodman-Packman. JP, I hope that answers your question. All right, we have 7 minutes left, guys. Let's see how many more of these questions I can get through. All right. Let's see. Walter wrote a great question. He said, Amy, if you only had $1,500 that you could spend to promote a book that's already, now it says self-published by Amazon. Walter, Amazon did not publish your book. Amazon may be distributing your book. You published your book. I promise. Even if you bought or took a free CreateSpace ISBN, you are the publisher. And so how would I spend $1,500 if that's all I had to promote a book? Well, Walter, I have not looked at your cover. So what's going to happen is I am going to look at your cover, and I'm going to email you privately about this later, because when you lose someone you love, it may not, I don't know what it looks like yet. But the general answer to your question that I can answer for anyone, if I had $1,500, I would spend it this way. I would, without question, start applying to BookBub, B-O-O-K-B-U-B. And yes, it costs $700 or $800 depending on the category. But I would try to pitch my book to BookBub, and I would keep pitching it until they took it. That's a great, that $700 will make you thousands back. It's just, it works. BookBub is terrific. It's why it's so hard to get into. They're doing a great job. I would use some of that $1,500 to print and to host review copies. Print 20 review copies of your book and spend $20 and get a BookFunnel account. BookFunnel. I'll put it up on the website. BookFunnel. Host your ebook and on BookFunnel so that you can go after reviewers and get them to review your book. Review copies are important. For a book like yours, especially when you lose someone you love, you're going to want to go after librarians. You're going to want to go after nurses and therapists. They're going to need to read your book to see if it's any good. BookFunnel is a great use of $20. Spend $200. Get a few review copies. Nothing sells a book like a book. Nothing. Yes, your articles are great, and yes, that's fantastic. And the last way, after all that's said and done, you've got maybe $500 left. I'd spend it on AMS keyword ads. But don't just get 30 or 40 keywords and think you're going to make money. You'll lose money. Do it right. Take the classes. Go Google how to do AMS ads properly. I wish I knew how, but again, KDP Rocket, Kindlepreneur.com, there are companies out there that can teach you how to do them properly. And AMS ads, I do them all the time, and I spend 30 or 40 bucks a week, and I make at least 3 or 4 times that. I make, for every $30 I spend, I'm making at least $100 back.